Hello, and welcome to Consciousness at Play, where we discuss ideas, philosophies, and relevant topics with a spiritual twist. I'm here with my co-host Dave, and Dave and I are just gonna check in with each other, see how we're doing on this lovely Sunday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, chilling, bro. Sunday morning, a little tired, but I'm in good spirits. Got my weekly coffee in me, coffee with some butter. I'm chilling. I'm feeling a little buzzed up, a little caffeinated, feeling good. Enjoying our little you know, sober month. And we're almost done, and
Yeah,
we're
man.
still smiling. Look at us. Can,
Yeah,
y- can
man.
y'all see us on camera? We're still smiling. So,
Hey,
what about
we're
you?
here. We're here. We're here. We could do it. Yeah, man. Yeah, checking in on this Sunday. My Giants went down in flames last night. Got blown out by the Eagles, but it is what it is. I'm not a huge football fan, but I do follow my New York teams when they make it to the playoffs. I feel like we need every soldier in there. But yeah, man, 10 days, 11 days left in the sober challenge, got my coffee in me or whatever, but I am
How
I'm
you
looking
feeling?
to I'm feeling good. To be quite honest with you, I'm feeling good. Like I told you before, I think I feel better when there's like less restrictions on me. Cause like for whatever reason, I just don't like being restricted. But at the same time, I'm like questioning myself whether or not I can actually do things responsibly. So I definitely think this was necessary. And it's kind of like, yeah, it's allowed me to like look at myself internally and say, I was abusing these things in my opinion, and can I do it in a responsible way? And I think I learned a lot after 3 weeks. I definitely think I want to like moderate way more than I did before in the past. So
Bro, that's why I think it's good to switch up whatever you're doing, dude. Like your exercise types, maybe you're big into lifting big heavy weights all the time. Go 3 months doing more lightweight, higher reps. Like switch it up. If you only eat meat, mostly meat and fats, try vegan for a week or two. Try new things. So you gather some data. Cause like you're saying, dude, you're like, yeah, with weed, I was probably smoking a lot, and now I kind of can view it from a different point of view of like, how do I want to move forward with it? So, hey,
yeah,
that's why these
yeah, it's a
challenges are
good point
good.
you made. The like I know in regards to fitness, they have this thing called a deload week, which is like you said when you're lifting lighter weights, and it just allows your body to like refine those movements, so that they're a little bit better when you go lift heavy again. So, there's definitely wisdom in that, I'll say.
Yeah. And I think too far in any direction creates an imbalance. And my goal is, I want to be 40, 50, 60 years old and still look great. I think to get to that point, I can't go too far in the direction of being a pothead. I can't be too much of an alcoholic drinker.
Hmm.
I can't be, enjoy tobacco and nicotine to that level. If you take a little bit here and there, you take in your antioxidants, you get the positive effects without going too far into the negative. I'm cool with that, dude.
Hmm.
And that's the plan of action when it comes to that. But I'm loving this. I'm loving doing it with somebody else because it's fun and I get to talk to people about it and shit. Like, hey, I'm doing this thing with my man, and we ain't
Hmm.
doing this and that, and oh, I'm enjoying
Yeah,
it.
I've gotten positive feedback with everyone that I've shared it with. I've definitely gotten people that's like, "Oh, that's dope. Like, I think I want to do something similar." And yeah, man, I'm glad that this wasn't like some trend that we hopped on. It's just something you and I both were like, "Yeah, seems like it's necessary."
And dude, how long did it take us to get to the challenge? How many weeks or months of preparation?
It was like a month. Am I right or wrong? Like a month and change. Like maybe because I think it was that last week of November that we may have discussed it. Am I
Like
recalling
we were, I,
correctly?
I think we were discussing it like late October.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
did it. But sometimes you'll plan things and you get to the point where it's time to do it, and it just like fizzles away. It
Hmm.
didn't happen with us. So I think that was I think that's impressive form of discipline.
For sure.
We were like, yeah, we're gonna enjoy things. We're gonna end the holidays, but then when it's time January, we're full throttle towards our challenge.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's there's something to that like whole winter solstice ending of the year and going into January. Besides like New Year's resolutions, I think that for humans, at least like our calendar year has been ingrained in us so much that like January truly is sort of a turning point, and you want to sort of let go of the old and allow the new to come in. So I'll definitely say that we had that going in our favor. But a little bit off topic. I've been enjoying this show, White Lotus. I'm on season two, episode whatever, three, four, or five. But I remember you mentioning something to me that kind of I kept in mind while watching the show, which is, these things that they subliminally trying to sneak in. And I was like in my head the whole season one, I'm like, what is Dave talking about? Like I thought it was gonna be like some like something horror or like, thriller like suspenseful that was gonna take place, but I think I've seen it in season two. And if I'm wrong, correct me, but was it something to do with the whole like relationship dynamic between the two couples who had gone on vacation together, and like one of the partners in the couple, the guy was trying to get his boy to cheat on his girl, was it? And then like being faithful, staying faithful and something like that. Was that what you were alluding to, or no?
No, no, it
No.
wasn't.
Have I gotten to it yet?
I mean, think about season one, what was going on with the dude that kind of ran the
The hotel?
establishment.
Right.
Yeah, the I don't want to seem homophobic,
Okay.
but you know, I just feel like there's a lot of male on male sexual activity in such
Mm,
show, if I'm
mm,
being frank. Which I had, you
gotcha.
know, to each his own, but you know, it's quite in the show. But you're talking about something totally different, promiscuity.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Let me bring that to the table because like I found that interesting. So for I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched White Lotus season two, this is a spoiler alert.
Skip, and we're gonna tell you when to come back and listen.
Yeah. So yeah, skip. But yeah, man, so there's two couples. The guy, two guys, and one guy I guess apparently just came up on some like new money, and so he's enjoying that lifestyle of having money. And apparently when you have more money you have more options and women and things like that. And so the two women, they go and stay at some separate house in Italy while the guys have a guys night out. And so he's trying to convince his boy to sleep with these two escorts. And his boy's like, nah, that's not really what I'm into. I'm really faithful with my wife, and I'm very upfront and transparent about things. But um apparently, yeah, these like he doesn't believe in the idea of being faithful and having as many options when you have money. So I thought that was a little interesting, and I thought that was something that he was like, dude, everybody cheats. He was like, that's like one of the, quote unquote benefits, and I was just like, I wonder if Dave was speaking to this when he was saying that, like, just putting ideas in our heads or whatever. But one thing that I did want to like talk to you about was the kid who went to Stanford, who was like a nice guy. And there was the assistant who was staying in Italy, and she wanted to have fun. She said she just wanted to get tossed around by some Italian guy, and she just wanted to have fun with her life. And here comes this guy who's got a great education. He's a feminist. He just thinks about the world in like a positive way. He's very progressive. And she just kind of, I mean, at least where I am in the episode, he just wasn't doing it for her. Like he was asking for permission to kiss her. It was just things that were kind of just not it for her. So I just thought that was interesting. Like the whole, guy's got a great resume, but like he just is not doing it for, the women that he's supposedly sticking up for. So, what do you think about his character?
Yeah, I saw parts of him, myself in him. You know, you know, I know
I was that guy. I was that guy. You know me, no more
I
Mr.
wasn't
Guy,
that
nice
guy.
guy. I mean,
Wasn't that guy, but I
okay,
see
but
lots of
right.
my self.
Right. I'm seeing remnants of him. I wasn't completely him, but like that ideology of just being nice and like not trying to like be too aggressive, and you know what I mean, being empathetic and stuff like that.
I don't want to be
Um
like those other guys. I don't
mm,
want to be like the guys that hurt, are mean to women and women complain about
you mean toxic?
and toxic. Yeah. The ones they complain about. You don't want to be like that. And if you grow up around women like I did, you think, oh, okay, that's not the way to be, and women will be happy. And they don't want you to be nice. I think they want you to be good. uh
Seems like those two things seem synonymous. I don't know. Is there a distinguishment between good and nice?
Good is what's best for each situation, for yourself and the other person. Nice is just your your you're looking out for other people's needs because you think that's what they want.
Mm,
And I think women want you to take care of your own needs and to kind of lead the way, so to speak. And they don't want the pressure. Most women don't want the pressure of leading the way.
mm,
So being nice is kind of like, okay, do you want X? Do you want option A, B, or C? Um, what do you want? I don't care. I just want you to be happy. No,
right,
no,
right.
no. They don't. And one thing, if I look back to my relationships, even through like the women I grew up with, my mom, my sisters, um, when it comes to making a decision, they'd much rather you make the decision. They might have input, but they don't really enjoy necessarily making big decisions.
Mm,
So that's where my man was going wrong in White Lotus.
yeah.
And watch as it go. Watch as the series progresses through season two. He is exactly who he says he is. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But are you enjoy? Did you watch season one through?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, definitely. It was good. It was good. It was interesting, like the dynamic between the two girls, who, for anybody who's watched Euphoria, I forget her name in the show, but her name was Cassie in Euphoria, the blonde
Sydney
girl.
Sweeney.
Yes,
She's
yes.
so pretty.
Yeah, she her friend was like, this ethnic girl, person of color. And so she was just observing how, like, this white family just enjoying all the privileges of being white. Meanwhile, the indigenous native Hawaiian kid, Kai, he was performing, and for these people, these rich white people at this resort. Meanwhile, his land was, taken over by this resort, and he was forced to, like, move off of it. And so, it was an interesting dynamic, man. That season one was pretty good. Season one was pretty good. But yeah, no, back to that whole the kid being nice and stuff. Like, is this weird double-edged sword where, like, we've talked about this off air, but in terms of masculinity, I feel like it's a torch that needs to be passed down from, like, the OGs, the men that came before us. And in my community, a lot of, African American men were incarcerated, due to, the war on drugs. And so a lot of that game wasn't passed down. And as a result, we're raised by some of us are raised by single parents, often women, and we're in a an environment where it's heavily dominated by estrogen and, women. And so we're just conditioned a little bit different. And while women can't teach you how to be men, women oftentimes will raise young men in the image of the men that they want you to be. And it's weird because, like, a woman can't tell you how to be a man, but they can tell you that, like, they know what they're attracted to, but they won't necessarily teach it to young men. They'll, like, sort of expect you to get it. Like, I remember once I mentioned to this coworker, like, oh, I didn't have a lot of, like, self-confidence growing up, but I taught myself, the pillars to develop self-confidence. And as I was telling her that, I could see across her face, like, this facial expression of disappointment. And it's like, like, not all of us are raised in a, thriving environment where people are feeding us, positivity for us to develop a positive self-image. And so, like, I'm for whatever it takes for you to get there, whether it's you reading books, whether it's you learning from OGs, whether it's from, like, people taking you under the wing or whatever. Like, as long as you get it, that's all that matters. Because as I said before, women are not going to teach you. And so yeah, man. Yeah, the whole asking for permission to kiss. Like, I read things on Reddit, Dave, where you have guys that struggle. They're like, oh, like, I asked the girl, if she wants to, like, she wanted to be intimate, and, like, she said no, and it turned her off, and now we're not talking, and I don't know what I did wrong. And they just spiral, and they're like, I don't know. I mean,
That's the thing. That's the thing. You date when you're with women and dating. There's no playbook. You gotta be able to read shit.
for sure.
You got
Yeah.
to be able to read tone, body language, and then you act and you do. You know what I mean? That's something you got to learn. It's not like, oh, I take her out, I buy her nice dinner, I buy her flowers, I open the door, I'm on the outside of the sidewalk. After date number whatever, we're gonna go somewhere and have intercourse. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work that way. It's much more.
Nuance.
magical
Oh,
as
okay.
women would, nuance. Absolutely. That's a good word too. Um, yeah, dude, and you learn that. And I think guys need to stop putting so much damn pressure on themselves. In my in my experience, what I've learned is experience is the best teacher.
But, bro, there's this thing where like I notice, and I've always confronted women, especially when dating too, is that like a guy who's attractive, deemed attractive, can get away with so much more than a guy who's considered unattractive. The guy who's unattractive that hits on a girl is the creep. The one who's attractive and hits on the girl aggressively, he's charming. He goes for what he wants. You know what I
Whose
mean?
fault is
It's
this though?
I don't know. You tell me
It's not, life isn't fair, bro. I'm a
for
big
sure.
fan of life is not fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just straight up like that, I got different attributes that are in my favor. I got certain things that aren't. Same with
Hmm.
women. There does
Hmm.
not need to be an even playing field,
Hmm.
and I'm fine with that.
Right. No, for sure, for sure. And I think like one thing that I guess I would highlight in that and bringing that up is that like yeah, for you to be aware of your strengths and the things that you don't have going for you. That way you can understand the dynamic a little bit more as opposed to like blaming yourself and you know what I mean? Because like if you're 5'7", there's not much you can do about your height. You know what I mean? But there are other avenues for you to go about, approaching women, dealing with women that may work in your favor. And so um
And
yeah, man.
And bro, as you know, women are these magical creatures that porn, movies, and maybe different forms of entertainment will make you believe. They're humans just like us. Shit, bleed, bathroom, ups,
Right.
downs, not good people, yada yada. In my opinion, once you understand like the type, the type of people that actually are attracted to you and that you're attracted to, you can kind of act and date more intelligently. So then you're not going for, a supermodel when really you're just like an average person. I think that you'll leave yourself to heartbreak. What if
You
what if you
sound
go out
like
with a
you
supermodel or
sound like
two?
you sound like Kevin Samuels.
Oh shoot.
I mean, dating outside of your your bracket, so to speak, outside your league or whatever. But I mean, there's
You'll
there's some
waste your
truth to that.
time.
There's
You'll
there's
waste your time and money.
there's truth to that, man. Yeah, man.
You'll
Yeah.
waste your time and money. But who am I? Right? Who am I? All I can speak
Right.
with from my experiences. You go out there and live your life. But but yeah, we can always max. My thing is about maximizing my potential. And I think focusing on that
Ooh.
is probably your best bet. And what do I mean by that? Ask me.
What do you mean by that, Dave?
I mean by that is maximizing my DNA, making sure that I'm as healthy as possible. For me, that's what maximize my potential means. That means putting the best nutrients into my body, optimizing my sleep, taking care of my skincare, taking in good information,
Pursuing the
speak.
things that you're interested and passionate about.
Yes, it's just
As
continuing to just be better and better at better what I'm into. And then I can hang out with, experience life with people who are like me and are interested in it. And then I'm coming to the table with a wealth of experience and knowledge, and we just enjoy community. That's why I think maximize potential is. It's not like, oh, I had to be good enough to get this and that. No, no, no. It's about being smart with where you use your focus and attention and, you know, um, what do you think? What do you think? What's on your mind, brother?
yeah, no, I hear you. I'm just thinking about like if I could give like advice to young men or like I give advice to my younger self, which is, I think at one point in time, the approach for me was like, all right, what do women like? What is it that they're into? And then the shift that I made is like, what am I into? What are the things that interest me? And I think along the way, you develop a sense of character, right? Where you eventually do come across women that are interested in you, dating wise, and you have an arc of information or just like character to go about like oh like you're into this, you're into that, like that's cool. Because like what I find is that in terms of like leading, like women will oftentimes, if you are interested in something and they're attracted to you, they will partake in that activity even if it's like teach me something new, like oh you're into, I don't know, jumping out of helicopters and fucking parachuting or whatever. Like skydiving. Like
Great
they'll
example. Great example,
I
bro.
mean, it's a bit extreme, but like my whole point is that like yeah, they'll partake in the experience. They'll step into your world, if it's something that you're bringing, as opposed to like trying to cater to them, as you were saying before, and trying to like create an experience in which like solely based upon them. I think that is the advice I'd probably give myself, and it's worked in my favor. Like I'm an individual who's into spirituality, crystals, and rocks. I've taken girls to go get their aura readings, and it was a different experience. I've never been on a date like this. Like, what is the aura? Teach me something. And so, you know, it just makes you different from all the other guys, as opposed to like, the other way around. And so, yeah, man.
Yeah, and I think some people are NPCs, so they're 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 just so cookie cutter and generic. And one thing I've learned about myself being around those people, I don't necessarily enjoy it. I don't care how pretty you are. It's kind of frustrating. So, you know, uh, that's
No,
why I
yeah,
find myself wanting to date outside of the city because, like, you know, well, at least mm, I won't even say that because I think if I put myself in environments and communities where people are into the things I'm into, it's cool. You know what I mean? It's a vibe.
for sure.
So I'm not even gonna say all that. I think I was kind of getting my feelings just now, dude. But yeah,
Happens. It happens.
man. But how was it for you though, man? Outside looking in, how long have you been out the game? You've been out
Shoot,
the game for a little while.
been out the game almost 2 years, man. Two
That's
years.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
I guess. But I still got it. You know what I mean? Like MJ when he stepped on the court in Space Jam, you know what I mean? Put a couple shots up. I still got it. I think that's one of the things you have to like, at least I've heard is that you have to continue to like romance your girlfriend and, you know what I mean? Do the things that made her initially attracted to you. So you can't, I got a girlfriend now. Now I'm just, I'm not going to do anything that I'm interested in doing anymore. Like you still got to keep up with these
still
things.
dater.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Do
So,
you have any advice? Do you have any advice for the people out there with stale relationships? Like,
uh,
like maybe date night, um, try to keep things spicy in terms of conversation or like the types of things you guys do together.
Yeah, man. I'm no dating expert, but yeah, I guess, 2 years
I
in,
still got it.
I
I
still got
still
it.
got it.
I'm
I'm
not,
no jump shooter.
I mean, no, I'm just saying what works for me may not be like generally applicable for everybody. Cause I mean, I'm just me, man. I don't know. I'm like the guy who got game, who's not a great teacher. You know what I mean? I got my routine, you know. I go in, I put up about 1,000 shots, I pick my
That's a lot of
spots and
fucking shots, dude.
hey, listen, man. Like,
Answer my question, bro. Answer my question, man.
yo,
I'm
listen, man. It
answer
sounds
this
like you
question.
fishing for a certain answer, man. Maybe you got some advice you want to give.
I don't though, bro. I mean, I haven't been. It's been about 2 years, 2.5 years since I've been in anything long term over 6 months. So like, you
I
know,
mean, shoot. I might give some unconventional advice. Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. Shit. I mean, I think just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you don't have. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you spend 24/7 with your partner. You know what I mean? You just, I think it's still important to carve out time to spend time with your male friends. Spend time with yourself. I think creating that balance. While we can convene and do things together, there are times where I'm gonna need my space. I'm gonna need to do my own thing. And I think that in turn, keeps the attraction there because your woman doesn't have 24/7 access to you. I think, a woman will generally grow bored if like you guys do everything together. So that's one piece of advice I could give. That's work for me.
that's
Oh,
great
I got I
advice,
got
dude.
I got a clap. I
That's
seen some
that.
some
Yeah,
yellow
I
hands.
gave you,
Okay.
I gave you a
Okay.
round of applause talking
Okay.
about, I'm no fucking expert.
I am
Listen,
no
that's
expert.
great advice for
Stick to
people
that.
in relationships, people dating, because I intrinsically know that I need my space, and if I spend too much time with you, you know, that's not healthy and it's unsustainable personally. So I get it, dude. Look at you, man. Shit, you should write a blog.
Oh, don't do that. Come on.
And
Come
then
on.
at the bottom of the blog, you can put DM or inquire for more. If this was helpful, reach out if you have questions for one-on-one coaching.
Okay,
I'm
Dave.
telling you, dude,
I
there's a
mean,
market for people like you.
you
We
sound
people
like,
want what you have.
I mean,
That's
listen, what I have is nothing, out of the ordinary. I think it's possible for everyone. So I don't want to glorify it too crazy,
there's but listen here, brother. You got
but
things that are out of the ordinary for yourself that make you special, but there are things that other people can take advantage of and do also. So, you know, no
sure.
friend of mine isn't special. All right, man.
Okay. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. But yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Anything
other
new going
news.
on in life though? You know,
Um uh
life's been chill, man. I mean, I'm this winter. I'm doing well in the cold. Like I'm like, shoot, I could have dealt with a winter in the Mountain West where it's much colder. I feel like my body's just acclimating, which is nice. But
yeah. I don't know. Some random that came across my mind the other day is rock climbing. I think I want to like introduce that into
do it.
my ways of like staying active. Cause like I don't know, I didn't have access to that growing up, like those kind of things, but I think I have a natural knack for like wanting to move my body in more natural ways. And yeah, they got a whole bunch of like bouldering stuff here over in Brooklyn, whether it's at Dumbo Park, over my neighborhood, Greenpoint, Williamsburg. Um, so yeah, man, I think I want to start doing that.
I
Would
like
you
that.
ever do
That's
something? Would you ever do something like that?
Yeah, dude. I love the idea of exposing my nervous system to different activities. That's something I really, really, really want to do. Um, Especially winter sports
Mm.
like snowboarding, skiing, rock climbing. I know I never get deeply into rock climbing because fuck. I mean, sometimes when I've been on hikes, I've seen the rock climbers setting themselves up. I'm like, yo, man, that's
I'm talking about indoor. I don't know if I
I
specified
know,
that. Okay,
I
okay,
know,
okay.
but I want to do outdoor because you mentioned in Brooklyn.
Mm.
I don't think there's many mountains in Brooklyn.
Good point.
But there are in New York. But in general, I think I just want to try these things, and when I have kids, I want to expose them to as much as I can because I have like a list of things. I've talked to my man all the time about learning how to surf, so I'm hoping I do want to make it out there. He's been on the pod, Quinn.
Mm.
Quinn, if you're listening, bro, I'm trying to come to Santa Cruz soon, next couple of months. Maybe see what those waves is like up in the bay. Um, but yeah,
Yo, I did. Yo, that I think what you said is something really crucial too. I think that I had a reflection point earlier, like these last couple of weeks, where I was just thinking about the exposure to different ways of moving your body is so important, especially as a kid, because those things stick with you. I'm so
yes.
grateful for like the suicides that I ran, like, just the different ways of coordination, right? Like things that come natural to me now that I didn't realize like as a kid, if I weren't exposed to, I'd probably be clumsy at this point as an adult. So yeah, whether it's that like lateral movement, you know what I mean, forward, backward motion, learning how to use your hips and things of that nature, like that stuff is I think really important as a kid. And that's something that I would probably also prioritize when raising a kid.
I love it. I love it. And that's the thing about me, bro. I'm gonna think of a way to say how I'm feeling in a way that like doesn't trigger you or anybody. But individuals who never move their body and they eat a shit diet, they're just their DNA is just getting further and further away from nature's natural level of optimization. And it's really unfortunate because luckily for us, like I know me lifting weights like consistently until I was like 21, 22, the shape of my body changed. And it like, even if I'm not lifting as much or exercising as much, that shape is still there. And that shape will always be able to be accessed to. In contrast to somebody who didn't play sports or didn't have any level of activity, and then they start lifting weights at 28, where I am now, they're not going to be able to sculpt in the way that I potentially could. Because like people that exercise a lot and if they stop once you start, your muscles will grow. Yeah, like, they'll fill up like way quicker, like a month or two. You know what I'm talking about,
I
right?
do. I do.
So, um, move your body, sooner than later, because it makes a difference. But I don't know. So you want to do rock climbing? What else? Are there any other activities that you think you would enjoy, bro? Like, because I want to play
Uh,
piano,
mm,
surf. I want to paint more. Dude, I got a list of shit I wrote down. It's in my manifestations, dude. I'm
oh
trying to,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah, for
mean,
sure.
go down the list. Are you do you have more, or that like was
I
that
can
the bulk?
share 'em. I
Sure.
can share them, but if you have any ideas as I speak, but like I can just pull it up.
For sure.
Um,
Let me just think to myself. Yeah, besides rock climbing, I bought a bike last summer, so just definitely get my cardio in with my bike and exploring different parts of the city and challenging myself in that way. Um, I picked up softball, so like mechanically, I'm learning just how to, optimize my swing, breaking that down. What else?
I want to golf.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my little brother. He's deep. He wants to be a pro golfer, and you know, yeah. Like he was
Yeah.
telling me about how he just started doing jujitsu. We talked about
Oh,
MMA.
yes,
I want to try that
jujitsu.
too.
Yeah, yeah. My girlfriend played tennis, all throughout college growing up. So I think that's something I could sort of tap into and sort of,
Cool.
there are things that I could benefit from that, hand-eye coordination, footwork. Footwork translates too, from sport to sport. The better footwork you have, yeah.
Tennis is hard, dude. It was hard for me in high school. I'd go play with like my friends, I like my neighbors and stuff. It was
Uh-huh.
hard, dude. Especially it was
Yeah.
like, but maybe it's because we were playing in the middle of the summer and it was just hot and you're just like sweating bullets and like you're
Hmm.
trying to play and it was just like
Ooh, ooh, you know what came to mind?
uncomfortable.
Volleyball. Have you ever played volleyball? I think you would be good at it, or if
Yeah,
not, enjoy it.
I don't like volleyball.
You don't like volleyball? What about it? Don't you
No,
like?
I wasn't that good.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but maybe it's just I was just so uninterested. Because
Okay.
I am, 6'4" and long
Right.
arms,
Right.
jump a little bit. And it's like, but
Right.
no.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Volleyball is fun. I did that when I went out to Cali. They play that recreationally out there, especially with the beaches and stuff. And yeah, I got recruited to play, and it wasn't my first time playing. I played in high school indoors, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's fun, like jumping up and spiking the ball down and trying to save the ball from hitting the ground, especially when you got a decent team. I think it's fun. So
I think quality of life is increased when you have time for activities. You get to experience activities with other people. I think that's what a lot of people that are quite well off do, people that have more time in the day, and people that are a little bit more mentally healthy. Because one of the pillars in the Czech Institute, what we're taught, dude, is like play. I remember my first conversation with the health coach, the first one I ever worked with. He was like, what do you do for play every day?" I was like 23. I'm like, "Yeah, I play Xbox." He's like, "That doesn't count. What do you do for play?" I'm like, I didn't have an answer for him. And I think that's so important to like do things without like an aim of like you just kind of letting your creativity, let that, life force flow through you and without like, I don't know, or playing basketball or playing instead of playing, sitting and watching people play.
Another thing that comes to mind too is jump roping, but like not just regular jump roping, but getting nice with the tricks. There was
Yeah.
one dude I came across on Instagram, bro. It seemed like this dude was a wizard with the rope. I mean, the rope was twirling, bro, on the side in a way that I'd never seen. And he kept his rhythm with his footwork. He was just then flipped it back. And it's like I want to do this like outside of the gym because I feel like when people do it in the gym, they're trying to show off. It's like everybody look at me, like I know these,
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. The
right.
peacocking. Yeah.
Right. But I want to do this like on my rooftop or, in a park, you know what I mean? For the purpose of just like flowing, bro, putting on music and just going at
Hey,
it. Talk to
listen,
me.
Jihad, if you want to peacock, you peacock. I believe in peacocking here and there because it does something for you. I think for me at least, when I if I because I don't being tall and like noticeable like this black guy who lives in a white neighborhood. Sometimes I dress down,
Mhm.
but sometimes when I put on my fit and I'm feeling real good about myself and I'm peacocking, um, that like whatever happens to my brain, it kind of lasts for a little while. I don't have to peacock every day, but that here and there, it's quite the boost in your maybe ego or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah. I
want to
mean,
demonize peacocking.
yeah, no. And I just want to bring it up to say that, like, not to say that, like, oh, don't come to the gym, jump roping or anything like that. What I'm saying is that if that's your main intention, if that's your main purpose, you're going in there for other people, then like, but if that's your love, if that's like just something you do where whether people are looking or not, by all means, you know? So that's what I was saying. Like I do enjoy losing myself to like music, especially motivational music, you know what I mean? there's this there's this like montage that I usually listen to that I really lose myself into. And it's like the NBA playoffs. It's like a recap. And it's from like years ago. It's like 2013. But this was when Braun was on the Heat with D Wade and he was the villain and the Spurs are going against him and Steph Curry, you know, they're not the dynasty yet, but like basketball, sports, just I don't know,
It was a
brings me to
vibe.
another level. It really does, man. It brings me to another level.
And that shit is fun, dude. And that's fun. I think we all have that shit for ourselves in a different way. Because for me, bro, if I play the Rocky montage, especially Rocky 4, bro, it takes me to like 13 or teenage days.
Hmm.
That like, bro, when we talk about have you seen the Rocky 4, the montage where he's like doing jump rope or he's training?
I don't know if that's particular one that you're talking about. I don't think I've seen.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Send it
This
to
is
me.
a
Send it to me though. If you,
I got you. I got you. It's on
yeah.
YouTube. Of course I, watch it here and there. But dude, he was like doing his jump rope thing and all this training. And when I tell you as a kid, I mimicked all of it. All of it. And the music, I love 80s pop, like inspirational music, like to this day. And I don't know. It was just a perfect mesh. There's certain montages in movies, like you're saying, for the sports thing that just hit you in that certain spot. And
You know what comes to mind? You talking about like especially as a kid, martial arts movies. Like movies as a kid when I would see like, karate and stuff. I'd want to mimic those moves. And I think that
oh yeah.
like as you said before, going back to play, right? Like I mean, you do this stuff enough, you're gonna refine your technique and be better at it, but just like have fun. Have fun, like really let
Especially as
yourself
an
go.
adult.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult. Find time for that shit. Find time,
Yep.
you know. Because even to this day, sometimes I'm not as good at making time for just journaling aimlessly or doing some shitty sketches or, you know what I mean? Like fucking around on like trying to, I used to fuck around with music production. I would get the Logic Pro or FM Studio, I think it's either way. I would just fuck around on it and just,
Speaking of which, we're gonna have to freestyle soon, bro. I mean, just for our listeners, we're gonna have to
I feel
consciousness
like
at
I've gotten
play.
better, bro. I've been listening to you. See, I put that good time song. Yes, I've been getting better.
I,
Don't give me that look.
I'm just saying,
I,
bro. I'm here. I'm here. I
hey,
want.
you ever hear Rapper's Delight?
Yes. Oh
You remember
God.
I put good times on my Instagram story by
I.
Sheik the good times? You know that black song?
Yeah. 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 I do. I
Please,
do. I do.
bro, I be killing that shit, bro, in the crib.
Oh
You know
yeah.
my mantra's abundance.
Uh
So
huh.
I just be going off, in my kitchen when I'm cleaning. I'm sure my neighbors can hear me, but I don't care. It's fun. But yeah, we got to freestyle again. I don't know if I'm ready for the listeners to hear it. I don't know if they're ready because they might want me to do it all the time. And like, I don't think I don't think that's something I'm ready to get to the world.
Yeah, man. Um. But yeah, man, we're gonna close it out here. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Consciousness at Play. Um. Yeah. Like,
Go play.
go play. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, go play.